And good evening once again. We are with the Citizens Roundtable out in Crown. What is it? Crown Interchange. Crown Interchange. Crown is a massive interchange, but we are told is a hot spot for crime and criminality. And we'll be talking about some of the highlights. What are some of the things that you think stand out for you, as a citizen in this country? You can of course send us your views on hashtag your view on 405. You can tweet us at JJ Tabani, tweet us at newsroom 405. Navar, just lead us now in terms of just some of the big highlights. Obviously, if you hear what the MMC was saying and highlighting that the departure of Mashaba was a highlight, actually it may talk about the demise of the DA, right? As a party. I want to talk about that, but also talk about crime and corruption. We saw the state of capture report, and I'll come back to what Wayne was raising about, the conduct of police. Do you think they rose to the occasion? Do you think that the new Minister of Police has the necessary energy to deal with these things? We saw xenophobic attacks, etc. What stood out for you in terms of on the national stage in terms of 2019?
No, look, the year begins quite interesting. When you have the battle between, the public protector and the Minister of Public Enterprise and the President. And subsequent to that, we had the Commission of Inquiry continuing very well, getting some deep revelation about the systematic corruption that happens in the country, which is quite an issue that we must look very closely. But also the highlight came in when the DA the demise of the DA begins when I think there was a difference between leadership of the DA on how the Busasa issue with Ramaphosa. I think there were quite a problem between the DA leadership on how they handled that aspect. And you could see.
But is that not speculation, really? I mean, surely the DA's job is to expose what the ruling party is doing. The same way that the NC's job in Gauteng was to expose what the DA was doing. Why do you think there was an issue about how Musi raised the Bosasa issue? Look to me a straightforward issue. President must be able to be transparent. If he received the donation from dodgy characters, he must tell us why.
And South Africans generally, they were very traumatized for the past 10 years or so. Primarily because they've witnessed some of the horror of corruption that they never thought they would witness in the democratic South Africa. Hope of someone who's coming in to clean and to help South Africans stabilize and have a peace of mind. So when Musi come in and jump in the bandwagon of some popular sentiments with regard to Usasa issue, many people in the DA felt like, no, he's destabilizing what they thought is going to be a stable parliament. So I think Helen Zilla should tweet about it. I think she spoke about it, that was badly managed, it was horribly done. So I think that there were people who thought that let's stabilize. And I call that an element or aspect of national patriotism. That now we've moved from the era of a complex, problematic situation in the country. Let's allow Ramaphosa to stabilize this thing and move with it.
To move towards a little bit of stability. But this thing, MMC, leads to the discussion about corruption. I don't know what we're going to do, because every day we hear of stories of corruption and so on. Just recently, the Minister of Minister of Water Affairs said that the Integrity Commission of the ANC's toothless situation, who cannot call anybody to order. We saw even your own mayor now being dragged by the provincial corruption, whatever. What are your highlights? Do you think that we are getting to grips with dealing with corruption? Does this year add value to that fight, or we just in a bad situation that's getting worse where corruption is concerned, MMC?
No, I thought that the Zondo Commission would be a deterrent. But remember that human beings are human beings. People will always do wrong things, and people always think that it won't happen to me. So I think, in a way, sometimes it's unfair for people to paint ANC members with the same brush to say they're all corrupt. You go to church and you see people stealing money there. Where you least expect people to take money. They are human beings. Human beings are fallible. So I think it's going to be a very difficult task to try and curb corruption. On a daily basis, you hear of people having done this, and you say, but why do they do it? Why should people do? You don't have to have...
But MMC, you speak so innocently, man, There are 6,000 cases of people who stole money under your watch in Johannesburg. 6,000. There was you needed to hire a general to be here to chase people
You
down the
heard
street.
that from Mashaba. You know when Mashaba came in,
Yeah.
he went to ENCA and he said on Monday, that was a Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
On Monday, all former MMEs will be arrested. We waited and waited and waited until today.
Yeah.
He started with a theft of R1 billion. There was no proof. Then it kept on escalating. He left without having provided any proof. So he was just talking about this corruption and CBI coming here. CBI has never arrested anyone, including all those former MMCs that were supposed to have gone to jail. We are still walking around, waiting for them to come and arrest us.
Yeah, but
So
are you
those are
saying
just
that there was
allegations.
no corruption whatsoever under your administration before Mashaba?
If there was corruption, no, there were people that were arrested in the city of Joburg when Tau was mayor.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people. Some of them were arrested for illegal connection of electricity. There was a syndicate.
Yeah.
So I can't say that there was no corruption. There was corruption.
Yeah.
But with what Mashaba said, with the billions that were stolen, we don't know where the billion came from. You know, because it's a lot of money. I could be staying at home, not bothering about sitting here trembling like this.
And
you know.
it is very cold, I must tell you.
I'm doing it out of, it's a calling to be where
absolutely,
I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the
Let's talk about, before I come, let me just come to the law enforcer now. You've been, I was alarmed today. David Temple tells me you've been working for the JMPD for 21 years. No, since you're 21. I mean, you deserve a Medal of Honor, man. But tell me of the state of crime in the city. If you had to just summarize it for me, right? Would you say we are losing the battle against criminality? I spoke a little bit before into the break about something like, the hijacking of buildings. This shocked me that there are over 600, not 60, 600 hijacked buildings in the city. The fact that we even know there are hijacked buildings and they are still being treated as statistics frightens me, because it looks like they were in a midst of lawlessness, Wayne Minnaar.
Yes, you see, I think the issue also, when we get to the Department of Justice, I don't know if what we are doing there is if we're succeeding, because JMPD, we arrest daily, we arrest weekly.
Yeah.
Getting people to court, but when the other aspect of justice, I don't know if we were succeeding, because how come we continue having problems as far as crime and criminality is concerned.
So are you saying that there is a sense in which the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing? In other words, JMP may arrest, but the people are released, they are not prosecuted. Do you find that there is that can be described as a trend that, in a sense, can militate against fighting crime?
You see, it's difficult. I mean, I don't think we're going to find an easy solution. But be that as it may, the JMPD will continue with its role and function. Enforcing road traffic regulation, seeing to it that everyone complies with the city bylaws so that we can have a safer and a city which is cleaner and a city where everyone can live comfortably in. And then also to continue with our crime prevention efforts to ensure that there's less crime and to ensure that the economy grows.
You are hopeful. You are hopeful that you are winning the war. You have had to add 1,000 police officers. That must mean that you really require an army now to tackle the crime and the crime in Johannesburg.
Well, look, having the extra officers will definitely help us a lot. But unfortunately, we will not be able to have an officer on every corner. We won't have that capacity. But having more officers will definitely help us. to deal with the issues, and
All right.
for there to be more visibility.
Yeah.
Because just having increased visibility already reduces crime psychologically.
Absolutely. Now, but if you were to link to what Wayne Miller is saying, people are saying, but we are now going into a year and a half of the state,
Capture.
state of capture,
The state of capture.
whatever commission. MMC saying, oh, she thought it may be a deterrent, clearly not. Right? Do you think that maybe there must be some visibility? He's talking about visible policing. There's something about visibility that pricks the conscience. If you're driving without a seatbelt, you see a blue light, you quickly make sure that you remove, you become in order, right? Do you think that we should see some high-profile arrests coming out of the State Capture Commission even before the report is finalized? Look at what the Americans did this year. One of the things that came up was that the Americans began to arrest people, even though the in a sense the thing is not complete. So after the break, I want to just lead in the discussion. Do you think that as a big highlight of this year, we should be seeing some high-profile arrests? Let's go to a break now. We're going to talk some more to the citizens as we round off the conversation here at the Crown Interchange out in Johannesburg.